Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Megan, and if you've been following me for a while, then you probably know that I'm really into music. But if you haven't been following me for a while, then here is just a little bit about me. I am a senior journalism student at Lindenwood. My major is journalism with minors in broadcast communications and digital content strategy. And this live video was to just kind of introduce me and who I am and kind of to let people get to know me a little bit better. A few days ago, I asked all of you to ask me some questions because I was going to do a live Q&A, and I got quite a bit here. I've got 20 questions, so that's probably going to take a little bit of time to get through, so let's go ahead and get started. So the first one that I got was really interesting, and it made me think a little bit. It was, if you could go back in time to witness any event, what would it be and why? And I had to think about it for a little bit, and because I'm such a big music person, I definitely would want to go back and see All Time Low play in London when they filmed their straight to DVD 2. I thought that was kind of a really cool show, and I really would have loved to be there, but unfortunately I wasn't as big of a fan of them at the time that I was now. So if I had the chance to go back in time, that's what I would do. The next question also got me thinking a little bit. It was, if you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be and why? I would choose the person who played Snape in the Harry Potter movies. I don't talk about this as much because music is kind of like my focus, but I would have dinner with him because I think it would be a dream of mine to actually sit down with one of my favorite actors and discuss all of the movies from start to finish. And I have never met any actors, I've only met musicians, so I think that would be pretty cool. Plus, he's also, the best actor of all time. I mean, come on, Snape. You gotta love him even though if you hate him, right? And, so the next question I got was a little random. It was, are tomatoes a fruit? I don't really like tomatoes, to be honest. I'll eat them in ketchup form, but I won't eat them, as a fruit. Or I guess not as a fruit, but, raw tomatoes I won't eat, so I don't really know if they're a fruit. If anyone else is watching this, comment, and if you think a tomato is a fruit or a vegetable, because I really don't know. I don't care because I'm not a big fan of tomatoes. The next question is one that I get a lot because I am getting ready to graduate soon in May, and it's what are your plans for the future? And a semester or two ago, I thought that I would be an editor for a magazine. Alternative Press is a music magazine, and it is not a music magazine, but a pop culture magazine. And I thought that I would be working for them, but having gone through super semester and broadcast, it definitely opened my eyes and made me realize that there are more things that I can do with my degree than just being an editor of somebody else's stories. So now I don't really know what my plans are for the future, but for now I am just going to stay hopeful and see what's open after graduation. Hello everybody that's just joined. I'm doing a little Q&A session to get to know me for those of you who've not been following me for a while, or for those of you who just want to know a little bit more about me, because I know I don't share a lot about myself. I just share mostly concert photos and videos and stuff like that. Hi, Sarah. The next question, again, I had to think about a lot. Who is your role model? I have a lot of people that I look up to, so it's really hard to pick just one. But if I had to pick somebody, it would probably be, as cheesy as this is gonna sound, my mom, because the past few years we've gone through a lot of stuff together, both good and bad, because what mother-daughter doesn't? And so she has like really been there been there for me through a lot of my tough times, and she's gotten me through most of my college career. So shout out to your mom if you're watching this. I'm not sure if you are, but yeah. So my favorite color is pink, or actually kind of bounces back and forth between pink, purple, and blue, depending on the shade. That one was an easy question. So good. Alrighty. Um, why are you into g-eazy so much? This is actually one that I've gotten quite a bit in the last few months or so. So, I started listening to him last summer in like June or July, after The Beautiful and Damned had come out. So, he was already really, really famous at this point. So, I started listening to him, and then my friend Sam gets like these Ticketmaster vouchers each year, and she had one left. And so I was bugging her. And I was like, hey, you should get me tickets to g-eazy with your voucher. And I was kind of kidding, but I was kind of serious, but I didn't think she'd actually do it, and she did. And then after I saw him live, I kind of like, I don't know, had this new respect for him, not only because he was like my first concert outside of the genre that I'm used to seeing, but because after doing a little bit of research on him, I found out that he kind of like grew up, I guess you would say, in a broken home and not having a lot of money, and then he made it big with his career. And so, for me, seeing that, knowing that if a regular person like him can start out not in a good place and then move to a better one and kind of better himself as a person, then that kind of inspires me too. So it's not so much about his music, although his music is really good. I encourage you to check it out if you don't know who g-eazy is. But his, I guess, coming up, rising to success, literally starting from the bottom, is also a reason why I like him so much. So yeah, for those of you who are watching, I bet you weren't expecting that, were you? All right. My dream career, I kind of answered this one earlier, or not really. I said that I wanted to work for alternative press, but after kind of exploring like the broadcast side of journalism, I thought about it, and I don't know if I want to do being an editor so much anymore as a career. I mean, I'm the news editor for Linden Link now, and I'm the editor in chief for Odyssey, and I really, really like both jobs. It's helped me grow as a person and helped me better my skills as a journalist by interviewing people and all this other stuff. But I think now I want to go maybe into music journalism. So, like, reviewing stuff, interviewing people, kind of making like the recap videos, like alternative press TV, that kind of thing. But like I said before, we'll see what's open when I graduate. Maybe I'll find something cool, maybe I won't. But I know I'm not going to be at Sam's Club forever. So, yeah. Leading into career, the next question was, why did I choose journalism? And so I've only told this story to a few people, but I guess now that I'm on Instagram Live, I'll tell it again. When I transferred to Lindenwood in August of 2016, I came in as a marketing major, and I was taking a basic statistics class. And anyone who knows me knows that I'm not good at math at all. I barely got out of it in community college, and I barely got out of it in high school. So, math isn't my strong point, and so I failed my first statistics test. Actually, I got like a 40% on it or something. And so I started freaking out and like crying on the phone to my mom because marketing, or the basic statistics at Lindenwood, is like one of the foundation courses to like move up and complete your degree. So I knew that if I failed the first test, then I wasn't going to do any better on like test 2, 3, or 4. So I started picking a new major, and then I decided on journalism because growing up I always liked to write. I like to write short stories and that kind of thing, so I figured that it would be easy. And let me tell you, it's not easy. It's not for the faint of heart, and you gotta definitely have tough skin because people are gonna like slam doors in your face and criticize your stuff and all this other stuff. But I guess that's also kind of why I chose it. Looking back on it now, it's pushed me to my limits and sometimes over them sometimes. But it's also gotten me out of my comfort zone. And I've covered a lot of things that I didn't think I originally would cover. And so now I have experience in those areas. And looking back on it, I know that I made the right choice. So now we get to move on to some of the funner questions, if you didn't think those were fun already. One artist I would follow on tour would probably be, if I had to pick absolutely anybody, would be Panic at the Disco. And I am so sad that Sam's not watching, but my cousin Sarah is, and she loves Panic at the Disco too. But if I had to pick, it would be Panic, or I guess Brendan now, because it's just him. Because he has like such a big heart, such a big spirit, and he's always doing something cool, whether that be for a charity or speaking at an LGBT event or making a difference in his community. And you can tell he cares a lot about his fans, and as do many artists. But if I definitely had to pick somebody, it would be Brendan. One song that emotionally affects me, oh man, there is a lot of those, but if I had to narrow it down to just one, it would probably be Therapy by All Time Low, which is off of I think it's 2009, correct me if I'm wrong, off their 2009 album, Nothing Personal. Mostly because this song is about being in a dark place, and essentially you have to learn to love yourself before, you can love anybody else. And I believe that's true in some aspects. Loving yourself is very important, and if you don't love yourself, you're not going to be as confident in your abilities, and you're not going to realize how amazing you are. So definitely loving yourself is something that everyone should work on, because I know I am. I'm not perfect, and I struggle with loving myself. And so Therapy is one of those songs that really kind of gets to me, and to this day, and it's been almost 2 years since I've heard it live now, or no, a year, sorry. To this day, I still can't listen to, like, it recorded. So, and that's how emotionally it affects me. I can't listen to it live without like wanting to bawl into my pillows and eat a whole tub of ice cream. Why are you so into music, and why do you like going to concerts so much? There are a lot of songs out there that I can relate to personally. I don't have time, unfortunately, to list them all. But hearing something pre-recorded in a studio and then hearing it live is like two different things completely. There are things you don't hear in the pre-recorded version that you hear live, and then there are things live that you don't hear pre-recorded. And I'm into music because, as I said, there's a lot that I can relate to. It makes me feel like I'm not alone, and it inspires me. And I've met a lot of my good friends through music. They live in different states, so we don't get to see each other unless we meet at a show that we just happen to be going to. But I guess that's why I'm into music so much, because it brought me some of my closest friends, and that I still talk to this day. So if any of you are watching this, I love you guys, and I hope I get to see you at a show sometime soon. The second half is, why do I like going to concerts so much? I guess they allow you to like escape from reality for a few minutes and watch one of your favorite artists. And you also get to meet with your friends you haven't seen in a long time and be at a barricade if it's a GA show. So you're like right So like here's you and then here's the artist and you're like right here, and that's probably one of the best parts, to be honest. So yeah. So I got three different questions about all time low, and I'm just gonna wrap them into one. So, or I guess I'll list them and then I'll answer them. I guess what I'm trying to say. So, what is your favorite all time low album, favorite all time low memory, and how did you discover them? So, I guess I'll answer the third one first. I was about 12 or 13, I think, and this is when my parents still had a working computer in their bedroom, back when, everybody had desktops. And I found Dear Maria Count Me In on, like, the sidebar, like, the suggestions tab on YouTube. Because, I was, at 12 or 13, I was still listening to, like, the Jonas Brothers and Miley Cyrus and Demi Lovato and all of that. And the thumbnail for Dear Maria looked a little different than anything that I was watching. So I clicked on it, and I was immediately hooked from, like, the first 30 seconds. And so after that, at the time, I think all that was out was, like, Nothing, or Dear Maria, and I think a few singles from Nothing Personal. So, and then, of course, like, their EP and all of that. But I listened to that, and then I kind of, like, fell in love with them. And so that's kind of how I fell down the rabbit hole. And so I guess I'll answer the first one, which was favorite all-time low album. And honestly, I would have to pick probably So Wrong It's Right. I've blanked on it for a second. So Wrong It's Right, because it has Dear Maria on it, but it's also the first all-time low album that I listened to. So I kind of have an emotional connection with that album because you have so many good songs like Stay Awake, 6 Feet, Dear Maria, and all of those other ones. So that's kind of why it's my favorite, even though I'll probably never hear a majority of those songs live. And so the last one was favorite all-time low memory, which was probably getting to meet them for the first time. That was back in 2015. I met them with my other friend, Sam, through a radio contest that she won, and she took me as her plus one because I was the one to tell her about it. And it's probably my favorite memory because it shows how far I've come as a person when I meet them. Like, the first time I was so scared, so shy that I would, like, say something that I would regret. I didn't hug them, and then I didn't have them sign anything. But now that I met them 4 times, I'm a little bit more comfortable. I hug them now, and I'm able to talk to them. And so it just reminds me, or shows me how much I've grown, I guess, if I'm getting a little deep there. So the next question, I guess, or the next 2 questions, I guess I should have answered in my intro. And they were, do you plan on graduate school? As of right now, no. Mostly because I, like any other college student, I'm over school at this point, and I just kind of want to be done. But, life changes, and I may go to grad school in the future, who knows? But as of right now, after graduation in May, I'm not planning on going to grad school. I'm planning on looking for a job in my field. And then the second one was, what is your favorite class you've ever taken and why? I would say last semester I took an emerging platforms and analytics class where you kind of like made your own Instagram content. And it was my favorite because I got to monitor my analytics, so I really kind of got to know my followers on a more personal level than just interacting with them. So, like, I got to find out what kind of content they liked, what they didn't like, what worked and what didn't. And so it really opened my eyes as to what I need to do in order to grow my following more. And so I think that class was helpful. And if anyone ever gets the chance to take something like that, I highly recommend it. So let's see here. The last question is probably the best question. Save the best for last, right? How many artists have you met, and what is the best part about meeting them, and advice for first timers? So it's a three-parter, so I guess I'm going to answer the first part first, which is how many artists have you met? Let's see, I've met All Time Low, Water Parks, a member from As It Is, half of the Rex, and the main, or half of the main. So there are so many more that I want to meet, and hopefully, well, I'll be getting to meet the rest of As It Is soon in about 2 weeks, and I'm very excited for that. And I want to meet g-eazy and Panic at the Disco, State Champs, and a few other bands. So those are on my radar, so hopefully I'll get to do them very, very soon. The best part about meeting them, and this goes for all artists, not just All Time Low, is getting to tell them thank you and getting to tell them a little bit about you. Because even though the chances are they might not remember you next time you meet them, you have about 30 seconds to a minute with them, and what you say does count. They do, for the most part, remember what you say. So, and then the best part also is getting to hug them, because a lot of them give really great hugs. Advice for first timers is something that I wish somebody would have told me when I started meeting these bands. Just be yourself. Don't freak out around them. You have to remember, at the end of the day, they are normal people just like us. They have friends, family, wives, kids. They have a house to go, they have a home to go home to. So they are normal people just like us. They're just a little more well known. And they want to be treated like real people. So that's kind of something you should remember about them. Because, if you treat them with respect, they'll treat you with respect. And it'll just be a positive experience overall. Those were all the questions I had. So, but before I go, I kind of just wanted to say that my goal is to kind of build my brand better, or not my brand, but I guess myself better, and work on posting more content, kind of like getting me ready to go into the music field, because that's kind of where my heart is, and that's kind of what I want to do with the rest of my life. So if you guys have any suggestions on any kind of content that I should post, you can always send me a message on Instagram or Twitter, and it's Megan K with 4 Y's and an underscore for my Twitter. But as of right now, I think I have a pretty solid idea of what I want to do, and I can't wait to share all of my ideas with you. So for those of you who tuned into this live stream, thank you very much. I appreciate it. My name is Megan. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.